Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 325. Let's see what shows up here. We'll see, see what we can do. Honest truth here, I did just try to draft the cloning program deck with the new card that the two cost card out of Piltover, the elusive guy that when you play another copy of him, he turns into the 4/2. And I was ready to draft kind of like the cloning program. We got the cloning program Vi and paired it up with the Victor. And I was like, all right, we can do this. We can create all the cards. We'll get good iterative improvements. And then that turned out to be one of those cards that's not an expedition. And so, it was a nice trial in memory, but ultimately, when your build around card doesn't exist, it's a little awkward. And so we'll save that one for patch 2.7 when maybe that guy makes an appearance. But back to what appears here. I'm on board with trying out this Quinn and seeing what we can piece together. Demacia didn't get too much in the new set, but they did pick up the elite scout unit. And so whether or not that guy exists in Expedition, I'm not really sure. But this sounds like an opportunity to give him a try and see if he'll make an appearance. If you're out here just shooting for your 7, I would probably still recommend the Quinn. I'm not a huge fan of starting with Shen. This is a reasonable and strong support champion, not a good champion to start with, because the Shen build arounds never work. Then Enlightenment Trundle is not super strong. I really don't like the ramp strategies. It turns just kind of into being like, how can I take advantage of Trundle being a good unit and then being a good cards deck and not actually a real build around kind of deck. So we're going to take a peek at this Relentless Quinn here. I'll get her pulled up on the site. If you're not familiar, it's ftpbust.com. That's where I keep all of my expedition related content. I just wanted to call out, I do have the Defenders of the Ancient set review complete. But I am kind of waiting on Riot to post all of the card pools before we really get into updating the tier list and updating the expedition helper. Just a little hard for me to do without knowing what exactly lives where. But I will take a quick peek at this Quinn pool out of Relentless. This pairs up with Katarina, supposed to get some kind of value out of attacking multiple times in the same turn. And on the the Demacia side, you're just really looking at the scouts. The big thing to call out with these scouts here are the 4-cost Grizzly Bear thing does not exist in this card pool, so it's a little bit tougher to come across it. If you're looking to build towards scouts, you have to really find a way to take advantage of Green Fang Warden, and then the Green Fang Warden, Loyal Badger Bear are going to be kind of the meat of the deck you assemble here if you're really going to be focusing on Demacia. But otherwise, there's some high-powered epics in it, Sithridge and VV, the Grand Plaza, so you can look to perhaps find one of those. But otherwise, you're really just focusing on these 2/3 drops and then trying to fill in your deck other ways. So welcome to the Team Quinn, and let's see who takes a show up here. That's that's some good English here. Let's take a see who shows up. And so, as far as these are concerned, I'm pretty cool with just sticking to the Relentless theme and picking up this Darius. I don't want to combine Lysandra with Quinn. We're not going to get any real value out of adding these Frozen Thralls. We're just never going to activate them. They're going to be completely dead. So, you could kind of make an argument, hey, let's play Ezreal and, use his Nexus strike ability to attack multiple times. I just don't think that that's a strategy that's ever going to pan out. And so Darius it is. And so let me get him pulled up as well. It's kind of weird seeing Elixir of Wraths, but these are something that plays, particularly nicely with those Green Fang Wardens. But Darius and Blood on the Ice, ooh, got close. There we go. And so, yeah, this one it's meant to pair with Ashe. And so you're using the Noxcria Arena out of the Darius half. You're using Ashe to frostbite your opponent's units. And then your strongest unit hitting your opponent's frostbitten unit, it's going to win that combat and then lets you kind of pick and choose who the arena actually strikes down. But the thing I wanted to kind of see here was if any of the good attack multiple times cards live here. It does not look like it. I was looking for the Legion units. Neither of them live here. And so we'll have to kind of look other ways to take advantages out of this. The other big one I was looking for here was the Legion Drummer. I thought it used to live here. It apparently doesn't. I'm pretty sure it lives down here with the Callista or the Katarina pool. Yeah, like we typically do Legion Drummers with quick attacks in this pool and then try to close out games with Legion Marauders. Might be kind of tough to pull this off since the cards we're looking for don't exist in the Darius pool. But that's the way I typically look to build my my Relentless style decks. Is we have quick attack challengers, so you're trying to give a Quinn Bird challenger so it can just attack something and take it down without dying. It's usually good enough to stall out the early game. Then you can get quick attacks onto your Legion Marauders so they survive a single combat. Then maybe you're able to play a strength in numbers later on and close out the game that way. But, we'll see what comes together. I'm open to staying open here. And so let's snatch up this Darius and see who wants to be a part of the squad. And so, interesting. Like, I have an honest to goodness really hard time ever passing on a Legion Rearguard. And it's also paired up with the Blade Squire. But I think if we want to actually play to this theme and want to get a cohesive deck at the end of the day, we just have to take the Green Fang Warden. And so that's who I'm going to take here. I think we do want to come in and try to pursue these scouts as hard as we can and not let them go. Okay, cool. So, if you were paying attention earlier, the big thing that we'd be looking for here is Legion Drummer. And so she's kind of some of the glue that really keeps a lot of our early game together. I'm not really stoked to pick up Sharpened Resolves, but the Legion Drummer is quite good here. Okay, then a pretty weak set of cards. I'm tempted to actually just take the Reckless Trifarian. We're going to get a Whirling Death either way out of this pack. We don't want the Defender or the First Blade over here on the right. And it's like our curve is a bit of a mess. We haven't seen a whole lot of 3-drops. I expect to see a lot of Green Fang Wardens, a lot of Loyal Badger Bears. They haven't been making an appearance. And I just kind of want something in our 3-drop slot. So I think I'm happy enough to take the Trifarian. Don't get me wrong. I understand that back-to-back is much stronger. But I think we need that early game play here. Which one are you? When you summon an elite, make me cheaper than resummon everything that dies. That is not going to work out here. I don't think, if I knew we were going to see the Mage Seekers follow up in the next pack, I would have reconsidered that back-to-back, but it looks like we're taking a Precious Pet with a Weapon Hilt with this one. Okay, these cards are not looking too strong. We don't have as many attack a whole bunch of time combos as you would like to get this First Blade going. So I think we're just taking another Whirling Death, even though this Wrathful Rider is pretty weak. Okay, well there's finally a Badger Bear. Got the Badger Bear with the removal spell, seems pretty good. We do have 2 quality units over here, but I don't think we'll have an early game that's very conducive to a Demolitionist plan. Okay, our first Marauder. Welcome to the squad, my friend. Welcome to the squad. Okay, not a lot of exciting cards here. I'm kind of leaning towards taking Stalking Broodmother, but I do not want 2 On Guards. I think we're just kind of like stuck with that, though. We could take Tusk Raider. It's a powerful late game play, very similar to Darius. Then we kind of land in this spot to where Might isn't very good. But I guess, if we're going to maybe find some Legion Marauders, then Might can be a little bit stronger of a consideration. I think this is okay. Okay, yeah, especially if we're gonna take a second Reckless Trifarian here. I think that's going to turn out fine. Alrighty, alright, where are we getting ourselves here? These cards it's like every pack has like half of a good card in it. This has been a bit of an awkward draft. We have a million 3-drops, and then like half of our cards are playable. It's kind of the status of the draft at this point. So with this, I think we're good to take Bloody Business. We did pick up the 2 Reckless Trifarians. We have this stupid 5-drop, and we have an Armored Tusk Raider. So we have some means to play it. We don't have the 5-attack Trifarians and the 2-drop slots that make this particularly good. It's just Larn Duelist does not feel like a strong choice here, but like Purify feels a lot better than all of these other cards. Oh man, that feels icky. All right, another Legion Drummer with our no Challenger deck. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I shouldn't say that. We have the 1 Challenger, right? We picked we picked up a Brutal Hunter, so I can't spread those lies. Alrighty. We did pick up the Fleet Feather Tracker here, though, as long as a single combat. Feels pretty good. And our last choice here. I think I'm kind of okay with getting rid of Nox Crya Arena. We don't have like too many cards that play well with this. I mean, we do have the Armored Tusk Raider that plays well with arenas, but if we aren't using Tusk Raider, it feels pretty bad. And Trifarian is still a good early game play. So all right, let's go and pick that up. Let's see if we have someone to turn premium as well. I know we're getting down to the dregs of the common units. I might have to start splurging and spending on rares before you know it. But let's see if we can save the pocketbook for a little bit today. What do we got? We got Not Own turned on. Are any of you all in the deck? Man, I miss you, Laurent Protege. They took him out of Expedition. He was too good. But, the Wrathful Rider, I usually talk a lot of trash about you, but, everyone deserves their time to shine. This trial feels like it is your time to shine. So let's get to it. Let's get in there. This deck is not particularly good. Has a lot of like raw power to it if you draw like the right half of the deck, but this one's really hurting. Okay, I'm not sure if this guy's trying to be a Twisted Fate deck, like Sea Monsters that accidentally picked up a Lucian, or a Lucian deck that accidentally picked up a Twisted Fate. We'll have to kind of see how his cards line up here in the beginning. Okay, we'll make the trade. We kind of just like have to give up on this early game stuff here. Like Legion Drummer is not going to get anything done without challengers, so if she just comes down and trades, it's kind of okay. And then we just got to kind of keep the board empty for our Reckless Tefari and to start crashing through. Whoa. Ooh. Aced him. I mean, I didn't think that was going to be too much of a Legion Drummer, but I was proven wrong. that was quite the scary play. So, all right, God, these packs are abysmally terrible. Like outside of like Whirling Death, being a quality card that we already have 2 copies of, it's like you just see this come up, and these are just horrible cards. Like it's not so much that they're bad cards; it's just they don't give you any direction, right? If you're looking for, it's like, okay, I want to play Quinn, give me some scouts, or I want to play, Darius. I guess if you say I want to play Darius, give me, a unit with an Overwhelm or a Basilisk Rider, or if you want to play Katarina, give me a Legion Rearguard or a support unit or something. It's just like none of these cards are on theme anywhere. But let's take the Quinn. It's like that's the champion we're trying to flip here. I can see an argument for picking up a Katarina, just because it's not like super easy for us to flip Quinn, but ugh, brutal. These packs are savage. All right, let's wash the salt away. Let's just queue up into Kindred and see if we can't just salt the fest. Just give Mortons a run for their money. Alrighty. I think we can do something like this. It's like I'm not like really stoked about hanging on to our 3-drops because we're gonna have draws like this. I feel like we could have just like maybe mulliganed away their Trifarian, but it's like I want the Marauder, but I don't want to just like immediately run him out unless the coast is clear. We'll have to see how this plays out. What is this, Tom Kench Leona? Okay. Okay. Well, if there's ever a board to just run him out on, I think it's this one.
Let's have some fun.
Who's on top of the bounty board today?
Okay. Cool. We're going to play this like we have strength in numbers and a bunch of these things, but it's unfortunately not the case here.
Strength and grace, beauty in the blade. Radiant strikes.
All right, bro. We just need a Whirling Deaths to keep you safe now. Didn't see that one coming. Oof.
Crows will have what's left. Plenty for all of us.
Not my first gunfight.
All right, I believe in you. I believe in you, Legion Marauder. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, he's playing cards. What we got there? Alrighty. Get him. Get him good.
Son of a...
We're gonna have double challenges on our next attack as well. Oh, we got the quick attack for her? Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Things are happening.
Nothing can stop me.
Okay, he's getting that card advantage, but we're about to have Mega Board.
I keep step with the heartbeat of Noxus.
We're gonna have space for you, Fleet Feather Tracker, but
To serve the
I think we
greater
can
good.
start with the Brutal Hunter. Let him know that the challenger's on the way. See if that changes how he does anything.
Illuminates the land.
Oh,
Sunlight blind.
and then we can follow up with the Duelist.
Fierce and fashionable, no?
Okay, want to do one of these. Here's a quick attack challenge for you. Here's a quick attack challenge for you. Get these into combat. Got our answer to Targon Shield here in the Elixir of Wrath. Okay. We I had to stop and note. I noticed we had a lot of units attacking through unblocked. I had to make sure we weren't just like obviously skipping lethal here. No, this looks good. Nice. Apparently, the more trash you talk about your deck, the better it performs. So, looking good, looking good. All right, none of these cards is letting me trade for our Legion Marauder. Kind of okay with picking up Basilisk Bloodseeker. I'm not a huge fan of the Basilisk Bloodseeker, but we have 14 3-drops in our deck, and so the Larnt Duelist played well in that game, but I think we need to even out our curve a little bit here. Okay. My head scratched. I need a fresh haircut. I'm gonna have to ask the wife to shave the head. And the biggest cost saver of COVID-19, purchasing a set of clippers instead of getting the haircut for $30 a pop every 3 weeks. It's the easiest haircut on the planet. I shouldn't have to spend $30 for this, but you want to go to Sport Clips and like watch TV and not talk to the hairdresser, then it's worth every penny. Worth it. There you go. Hashtag Sport Clips. Hashtag sponsored stream. I felt kind of bad. I was going to this one Sports Clips, and like the hairdresser, like I didn't like sign up for her. I always just took the first available one, but like through the course of just like randomly getting my haircut in the afternoon on the middle of work days, I would get the same hairdresser, and then she started to get pretty like chummy and talkative, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to find a new place to get a haircut. But I eventually survived it. We got through it, So with this, it's kind of that same spot to where I want them all going to weigh some of these threes and look for something else. But then if we don't hit, additional threes, we're in such a bad spot. So, okay to just kind of play it a little slow. What up, Jack Knight? Let's give you a little cupcake.
Oh, Solaris fear the truth.
But yeah, I mean, that's like the great thing about Sport Clips, right? Even if they're just like, playing NASCAR or some sport you don't care about, like, they just got all that stuff up there on the TV. And it's pretty convenient. It's a pretty nice way to not have to talk to strangers.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
You know, they tried to ruin it sometimes. But all right, back to the game. Let's not get too distracted talking about haircuts and shit. So with this, you know, let's keep playing on curve. We'll add the tracker. We'll get the double attack in with the Green Fang Warden. See if we can control this a little bit before Quinn comes down. It's awesome.
What do you see, boy? Ready, boy?
Hide no longer.
Surprised to see him do this.
Quickly, before they organize.
Okay.
My spirit shines.
Okay, let's see if we get a spell out of this one. He seemed like pretty willing to offer this up last turn, but
Sisters.
I'd like to see him spend some mana before we just drop this unprotected Quinn down. We could have put it in front of the 1/2, but we're going to get like a scout attack with Valor, and there's probably not going to be a good target anyways, and so I was pretty okay with this.
Wow, all this walking.
Kind of changes things with the Legion Drummer.
What do you see, boy?
You two are a welcome sight.
What you got for us? We're about to start doing big things.
I know the mountain.
Okay.
Oh, where that came from.
We march as one, an unstoppable force.
He's not playing any cards. What's his play here? If he has like the mass, okay, stalling for Moondreamer. Like I say, if he has the mass entomb, like is his big play, just don't care, you know.
That's my favorite too.
So, how do we interact with this Moondreamer now? We probably just have to accept that it sucks for us. So, at least still do this.
He smells something.
Don't want to put damage on Quinn. Well, we should probably just do it like this, so we don't lose our scout unit. So we can try to get the flip next turn.
Come on, chase.
Oh man, I don't approve of these kind of things. Okay, didn't have the additional spell. It could have been safe enough with the Green Fang Warden, but you know, if he had a little bit too much for us there and we lost our scout unit, that would have been ultimately pretty awkward. Can just blood seek this Moondreamer if we want. Would like this just to function as a removal spell, but jeez. Well, I think we can still pull this off. Like he's done playing cards this turn. So let's say we play Bloodseeker, kill our thing here, whatever this is, Green Fang Warden, kill this thing up here. We get an open attack with Quinn, bird down his blocker, and then we're good to just play Darius and blast him with the Bloodseeker Darius. Quinn Bird will hook whatever his new play is. Potentially flipping Darius on this attack as well. I'm pretty on board with this. Deal 1 to an ally 4, deal you. Valiant effort, my friend. Okay, so he picks up a flipped champion, kinda scary. Ooh, and a relentless pursuit.
Just like hunting thresher geese.
That's a pickup. Feeling pretty relentless today. Okay. It's Trendamere. That's what we want to see, right? Uh-oh.
Where they fall,
Aurelia.
freedom grows.
Okay.
I have my orders.
Are you prepared to die for them, Noxian?
Summoned her round start. Doesn't have an attack token, so she doesn't do anything. I was like, why are you playing this? And then I realized he's just not playing Aurelia. That was what he picked up off of the Howling Abyss. So I think we're fine now. This should be pretty tough for him to interact with, even if he plays a big unit.
Scouting ahead. No one escapes my aim. Valor, to me!
Pretty good. Kind of sucks. He's still lethal though. I bet we're pretty close.
Blood for Noxus.
So if we attack again, Quinn Bird hooks Aurelia. He blocks Trendamere or Darius with this. Takes 5 and 4. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We are good.
Scouting ahead. It's our time to shine, Valor.
Shine him. Got him good. Bringing that heat, bringing that thunder. So, going into this next champion pack, it's probably going to show us Katarina again. I'm not like 100% opposed to taking Katarina. But I really wish we had like 3 Legion Marauder cards if we were going to come down here and take Katarina. Then she shows up with Kato and decisive maneuvers. I think it is what it is. We're just going to take this Katarina here. Just too good of a set of cards to go with her. When like we're not a super Quinn build around. Like yes, we got to flip Quinn that game, but I don't think that's going to be the norm. Like we have 2, or these really are only scout units. Our 2 Green Fang Wardens. And so yeah, I feel okay taking her. Now, do note when you see Katarina, she functions as like a non-drop. You know, it looks like she costs 3, but she really costs about 9 to get rolling and going. And so she's certainly not a champion you can stack and something that's not cheap to get going. Okay, off we go. Always love me a nice little Katarina deck. This it's not the nicest. Still, I'm still waiting for our Legion Marauders to show up, but. This is classically, if we want to go way back to the origins of Runeterra, the classic Lucian Katarina Relentless card pool was one of my all-time faves. Getting these quick attack challengers going, you get these multiple attacks with Lucians, just so much cool stuff you could do. Then the pools changed, the times changed. Still doing cool stuff, but I mean. It's one of those classic decks. And okie dokie, Ashe and Teemo. So I mean, this is a struggle for me when we see Teemo in the mix. I assume that they're probably not doing too much Teemo. This is probably a Blood on the Ice Ashe that got a Teemo because it had like a first pick Teemo, or they took it because it had like a Mystic Shot or something. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of him, but I'd like to have a way to interact with him. That's why I was kind of like pausing on whether or not I wanted to keep the 4-cost Challenger, because we just don't have a lot of forced interaction, right? If he just attacks with Teemo, we can't even Whirling Death him. But I guess that's since we could have just kept Katarina.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
given that she can jump in and do the 1 damage ping.
For glory.
It's not ideal. What just happened to us? Not ideal, but I think we can recover. Those 5 damage hits are pretty bad usually, but
Nothing can stop
let's see what we can get going. Thinking that like maybe next turn we're able to just like play Katarina and then throw the dagger at the Glory Seeker. We'll see how that plays out. We may also just want to be like playing a barrier unit for a good block. Okay, you can't hit our Trifarian with a Frostbite unless it's a Flash Freeze, but this does give him an open attack on us, which could be a little scary.
Cut them apart.
Oh, we just can't block. that always makes it a little more challenging as well.
for the hand.
I will unite the Freljord.
So if we attack with the Precious Pet, does he ever block it with Ash? Potentially. I mean, we're only adding 1 unit this turn anyways. Can we ever kill with Relentless Pursuit? We can kill a bunch of his stuff with Relentless Pursuit. I think this is probably too far behind. Taking the 10 hit from the Glory Seeker. We should have just played Katarina into this thing. I was imagining our... oh boy. I was imagining our Trifarian doing some blocking here. Not quite there.
No backing down.
We'll be done with this one. A little too awkward for us. Yeah, we should have just gotten Katarina on the board and tried to get a 2-for-1. I have to imagine the longer that game goes, the better spot that we're going to be in. So as far as these cards are concerned, as you can see with the game like that, it's very easy for us to get stacked up on 3 mana cards, and so I'm really wanting to hang on to these 1 mana plays like Ranger's Resolve, even though Riposte is stronger, and again, just having a 1 mana unit in the Precious Pet. So I think we can go ahead and give this a skip. Don't end it on that one. That was a little sloppy. I got too attached to losing my Katarina, having these grand visions of getting a bunch of rallies and doing cool shit and blocking with Reckless Trifarians. So let's fix it here. Let's do a little bit better. Hey, it's Katarina Part 2. All the Darius as well. Either a 2-2 or a 3 Darius stack. A lot of expensive champion he's got going on there. Okay. It's at least curves. That's as good as we can say about this kind of deck, right? You go, yeah, it's got a curve to it at least. We didn't draw 4 3-drops. Getting first blood. Good. Our boy the Marauder. Right. I'm not gonna get him down to business just yet. We've just picked up this On Guard. We can do things like play Marauder and Greenfang Warden with On Guard. So say like Marauder on his turn, our turn comes around, play the Greenfang Warden On Guard. Really pick and choose where we get the block. Hopefully get our Marauder up to 4 attack. Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, get him up to 4 health. That's the kind of the tipping point for having good Legion Marauders. It's coming right at us with Katarina, huh?
Violence solves everything.
Let's have some fun.
Can replay her here, which I'm not super worried about.
Noxian might.
What do you see, boy?
got for us, friend?
We three will have blood.
Hunter, so I assume he can't do anything else now. This would just be like an elixir of wrath if he had it. So I think we're safe to just make this on guard play.
Ready, boy?
We'll trade the Green Fang Warden for his Basilisk Rider. We'll get a value attack onto his Brutal Hunter, and then we'll get the safety hit with our Legion Marauder. Ooh, there we go.
Come on, boys. Good dog. My brain.
Get to bank up this mana. It's leaving us in a spot as well to where we can, Concerted Strike as Katarina. We do need to get some kind of board presence. We just have a ton of spells here, which is kind of sucky, but alright, we're just going to kill him with our open next turn.
Strength above all.
For the Empire!
We'll block him just in case something goes weirdly wrong here. If he kills off our Reckless Trifarian with a 1 damage card, then we'll still get a kill on him. Hopefully get an open kill here. Nice. Alright, we've recovered. The trial did not end. So, here, I'm kind of cool with picking up Calling Strike over Purify. I'd also kind of be cool with just picking up another piece of top end in this Armored Tusk Raider. I would love it if we could just trade the Purify for the Tusk Raider. I don't I don't think that's how it works. If we click this trade button, it doesn't let us move down. So I'm not like super excited about these single combats in here, but they do play quite well as far as Reckless Trifarian is concerned. They play well with Loyal Badger Bears as well. So I don't hate it, and it is, a cheaper removal spell. I've picked up Katarina. As we, look down here at expensive land, Katarina really belongs down here as well. So let's do pick up the Calling Strike, I guess. It at least fits into these curves to where we don't do anything on 1 or 2, and then on 3 we play a unit and a Calling Strike. Give us a chance to catch up against those Lucians and Timos, and plays well against Azir and all of these problematic early game champions. So this is a pretty good time to be a Calling Strike with so much of the tokens deck running around, the Azirs and the Irelias. Monster dude. It's good against these Zoes. It's planned it that way. Alright. Looks like a start. Yeah, things are looking up. Monster dude, it's no cookies and MILF, I guess. For those of you that watch all my videos in order, you'll be familiar with our commentary on monsters or cookies and MILF. Oh snap!
Trickster never loses because Zoe makes the
Okay.
roses.
Popper on this open. Does suck to trade, 3 mana for 1, but at the end of the day, it's a sort of 2 for 1, right? Because he's not getting the star chart, denying the star chart, taking down his unit. Not the way I look at it, but it's a way to do it. Okay, and so with Zoe Leona, focused mainly on Zoe, I think we got to run him out.
Let's have some
It's awkward if he plays, one of the Daybreak units, either the 1 cost or the 2 cost. But if he's playing Zoe cards, it can be pretty tough for him to interact with this Marauder. There's not a whole lot of 3/3s for 3. This strikes me as the kind of deck to where I would expect to see Solari Soldier just show up out of fucking nowhere. You can't actually find them when you're drafting Leonas, but you put a Zoe deck together, they'll make an appearance for sure. We'll be able to handle this on our next turn.
sunlight guide you, my brethren.
Not real interested in trying to interact
We
with the
march
flight
as one,
with
an
this Katarina.
unstoppable force.
So we'll just bank into the next turn. Sure.
Punish transgressions.
Okay. Alright, not quite the time for decisive maneuvers. I might have changed my tune on wanting to get this Katarina going, though. Happy enough to just go ahead and pop off the charger.
Going back.
A lot of cards he could have got that are problematic out of the Solari Priestess, though. I mean, if he wants to spend his turn obliterating Katarina, it's kind of okay. But if he got like a Golden Sister, that's a huge problem. If he got the Warrior, it's a huge problem. Meteor Shower is kind of whatever. Sure.
Show them the might of Noxus.
Plenty for all of us.
Back, heretic.
Alright, get that stuff out of here. So he's got one more Celestial in his hand, one of the cheap ones. Then who knows about the rest of the stuff. The Zoe cards tend to be cheap, the Leona cards are expensive. We have picked up both of our champions here, which is kind of nice.
Shining gifts from the sky. What do you see, boy?
Alright, so now we have all this mana banked up, so we can get Quinn going. I think the way we'll try to set this game up is we can Quinn here, we can hook the Zoe now. Have Whirling Death mana banked up, then we're going to look to play Darius on his turn. So on our turn, we just open and maybe get a big decisive maneuvers play in. Not real convinced that we'll be able to get him below 10 or less this turn, but gosh darn it, we're going to try.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way.
He protects his Zoe here. I think I'm kind of okay with it. There's not a whole lot we can do about it anyways. If he plays, you know, like a +3/+3 or something. But really can't get good Whirling Deaths unless we're attacking with the Legion Marauder. Sure. Now, do we want to just like advertise that we've got this Whirling Death and also attack with Quinn? Kind of okay with it.
To victory.
Come on, boy.
Might be too greedy, but I think this is okay. Like he's gonna put Solari Soldier in front of Drummer, which is fine. He has to figure out something to do with Sunforger. Probably is gonna end with it getting Whirling Death and then put the Priestess here. Holy shit, he just took it. That was a choice. Decisions were made. Wow. I guess we might find ourselves having to decisive maneuvers this turn. Okay.
They will bleed for Noxus.
Should be safe. He's played 2 Solari Priestesses. That would be 2 Meteor Showers. I guess he could have like Sunbursts. Maybe it was a little aggressive dropping Darius now, but okay, he's fine.
If I had wings.
The world awaits. Forward.
Okay. Bunch of things we don't care about. Okay, I don't think there's any way for Targon to handle this open. Especially granted we've got double whirling death and decisive maneuvers and relentless pursuit. But
Crows will have what's left. Plenty for all of us.
this is what you're supposed to be doing with the relentless pull. This is what it was doing, right? You're getting these quick attack challenges. Your opponent's having to make bad blocks, then you can play a relentless pursuit. If one of your like Legion drummers didn't die, you can give something else quick attack, and you're getting these big monstrous attacks going. Pretty cool stuff when it happens, you know. A lot of it's, you know, kind of win more, but pretty powerful when you're out there and rolling. So with these, I mean, okay-ish with trading out on guard. It's a little like we're not really well positioned to deal with having an on guard go. I do kind of like picking up the Reckoners, like kind of like in that game. If we didn't have Darius there at the end, we could have done the same thing with Savage Reckoner. I think it's okay. I think we're a little spell heavy as it is right now. I'd like that to be kind of closer to 10. And none of these spells are strength in numbers, so okay. So good. You know, we talk about people not liking to have fun. We like to have fun. So, but that was good. I had a good time that game. Wonder if it's just pairing all the Katarina decks together. So strange. This seems like a reasonable start. We're gonna be on the odds, the odd attacks. So the Trifarian feels pretty decent here. It's pretty easy to imagine a world where we get a pretty good Ranger's Resolve. Let's see.
I keep step with the heartbeat of Noxus.
He represents more damage here.
A chill in the air.
It's not cool.
Show them the might of Noxus.
Stay back.
It's not super awesome, but at the end of the day, trading a 2-drop for a 2-drop, it's not that bad.
Formation.
Faster than my arrow? I think not.
Badger Bear can test this. We'll wait till we can try and get a whirling death on this Ash.
Nothing can stop me. What time is it?
Hero time!
I apologize to your parents.
Oh, we did it before we played our whirling death. Appreciate it. When that was with the Ash. It's good, we're getting wide here. Ooh, another whirling death?
No going back.
So I want to add Green Fang Warden. This is just kind of the perfect blocker here as far as these Ashes are concerned. Katarina, we can just take the hit from.
You, stranger.
Blade's Edge, our dude. Nope. Oh.
No one gets in my way.
Let's have some fun.
I have my orders.
Okay. Alright, so we have decisions now. Do we just open? It's a pretty big open. We have a lot of interactivity, though, if we want to add the Legion Drummer. But the Legion Drummer is just like 3 damage.
He smells something.
Send him in.
Moving into sight.
Block with that Ash or start dropping flash freezes.
I'll lead us to victory.
Interesting. Yep. Oh, there's the block from Ash. He's just letting things happen. Okay,
The
that
time
makes more
is right.
sense.
Strike now.
Now we have to use the big boy. He has a elixir of iron. I want to make sure we've got the big hitter hitting. Yeah, that one's awkward. I didn't consider that, but I guess we can single combat this still. We're gonna have to lose our Badger Bear to make that happen. It's kind of sucky. that wasn't as impressive as I really envisioned that turn being. I mean, I guess we're still pretty far ahead on board, but I was expecting a lot more out of that. Picked up his crystal arrow and has this Katarina in hand. A little scary. I mean, we can take an 8 hit from Katarina and not worry about it too much, but okay. Okay. So let's see, looking at these trade picks, you know, the thing about Tiana here is we just got a premium one. And she's a little more on theme as far as getting these multiple attacks goes. We don't have a lot of the payoff, you know, we just really have Legion Marauder and to a degree Quinn. This gives us another way to get Quinn attacks without having scouts. I think this is okay though. I think Tiana's probably good here. Like, how about, it'd be cool if the game quit trying to make me trade away Legion Marauders and would just give me more, you know? You have to think, you know, at some point it's like, man, this guy's passed on trading like 5 Legion Marauders. Maybe he wants it in his deck. But, excuse me, as far as these go, just kind of skip. Don't want the Reckoning. Want to hang on to my 1-drop. We have the 1 Calling Strike, where I feel the Badger Bear is just an important unit here. I can't get behind this one. We've been having, you know, moderate success with these Reckless Trifarians, but having this quick attack from the Legion Drummer with the Challenger on the Glory Seeker is always pretty powerful. Okay, never trading out Concerted Strike. Shield Breaker is worse than Tusk Raider. And then here, the Trifarian for the Brutal Hunter. I don't like to stack too many Brutal Hunters. I'm usually pretty happy with just 1. 2 is a good number. I don't want to go up to 3. Saboteur, not super interested in. Oh, here we go. There's our boy. Sorry, Trifarian Hopeful. The game heard me complaining and then it figured out what we wanted to have happen. So good with that. See here, I don't want to pick up the Blade Keepers, so let's give that a skip. All right. Right. Getting ready for that final battle. It's looking pretty good here. Okay, so don't really want to start with any of this. Double check, yeah, against Sejuani. So we'll cycle out everything. Don't expect too much out of Calling Strike here. You're just typically going to be trading it for a random 3/3 for 3.
I keep step with the heartbeat of Noxus.
Must have had like a Soraka or a Tom Kench that he traded away for a 3rd Sejuani. Cool to just risk the Trifarian here. A lot of plays from him that you know, can shut down our Legion Drummer, but don't shut down our Trifarian. Just takes it. Wow. Does he really want to plunder that bad? Is this just to play a Wolf Rider? Wow. This has a worst draw 2020 or 2021. Whatever year we're in is the worst draw that he's had. So how do we approach this? If he just leaves... Does this heal at end of turn? Yeah, so it'll heal the Ember Maiden. We'll lose our Legion Drummer. So it's basically, I mean, do we want to concerted strike this thing or just ignore it and go wide? I think I'm leaning more towards the ignore it path here. So let's get our Brutal Hunter down. Never attacks with this Butcher because we'll just block it with Legion Drummer. Now we can play Quinn, get the hook onto Ember Maiden.
Nothing gets between me and my mark.
Depending on what he does, I'm kind of cool with just attacking here and not making a scout attack. Big old burst of damage he's just letting come through.
Suffer! You are my prey!
So this is fine. Cool. Big ol' investment in Ember Maiden.
Let the flames take you.
Oh, he's just gonna ace himself. Nice, good game, friend. And so that's unfortunate. You know, he didn't seem to have a very strong draw. A lot of awkwardness happening with the plays that he made between having to Star Spring into Ember Maiden and to do nothing into playing, you know, the draw unit. So that unfortunate for opponent. But hey, his downfall was our success. And so yeah, I mean, this was I'm really surprised we took this beyond like 2 or 3 or 4 wins. This is in my opinion not a very good deck. This is leaning more towards what I would call a good cards deck, but it doesn't even have too many good cards in it. And so like we just rode this Reckless Trifarian hard. Like, this dude put in work today. And so hey, I mean, that's all it takes sometimes, you know. But you know, when it comes to this deck in general, again, like the you know, idea, the theme that you're going to be trying to pull off here is getting some kind of value out of attacking multiple times in the same turn. And so, you know, it's really lined up to where, you know, you have Katarina, you have Shunpos, you have Relentless Pursuits, and then now you're supposed to be getting multiple attacks out of Scouts, which just aren't that exciting, right? You used to be getting your multiple attacks out of Relentless Pursuits and Lucians and stuff, but now that we're, you know, using Scouts, I'm not like real jazzed about that theme, but we put as much work into it as we have to. But, you know, the big things that really make this successful is if you're, you know, going to stop and say, hey, how do I get some kind of bonus out of attacking multiple times? The classic way is with your kind of quick attack challengers. So, you know, Legion Drummer gives Fleet Feather Tracker quick attack. You make an attack, you know, say that both of your units survive for whatever reason, then your opponent plays a unit afterwards. You can then Legion Drummer something different. You still have the quick attack attached to your Fleet Feather Tracker. You just build up these big attacks across the early game. You know, the same thing applies with Legion Marauder. If you get to attack with him multiple times, he's going to grow bigger and bigger quicker. And then, you know, we had that one game to where you got to see that big, like, let's ace him turn that we had, where we had, like, you know, our Darius and decisive maneuvers and double whirling death and a Relentless Pursuit. And all the mana to just do all that, and that is, you know, kind of the coup de grace of the Relentless deck, if you will. But, you know, if you are out there drafting this on your own, of course, like, the big thing I like to look towards is the quick attack challengers. Again, this is such an ultra powerful theme between Legion Drummer and the Glory Seekers and the Fleet Feather Trackers. Just a ultra powerful thing that you can be doing. Don't get super attached to your Legion Drummers. You saw how quickly we were able to and willing to just trade these away, but they do let you, get pretty incremental advantage going on board. And then, as you typically do with most of your Noxus decks, make sure that you have some top end up here to close out the game with. Armored Elephant and Savage Reckoner are your classic go-tos, but if you do manage to find Kato's or Darius or what have you, then more power to you. You're welcome to pursue that as you wish. Just make sure you got something expensive in here to close out the game with, since your opponent tends to be able to block these Trifarians pretty easily after a while. So yeah, always feels good to me to take down a nice little a nice little 7 winner with the Relentless deck. It's still one of my favorites, even if we aren't piecing together the deck the way we used to do it in the old classic fashion. But looks like there might be a reward on here to click on. So let's open up this wild capsule. You all can see me collect these wild cards, and cool, we got a champion one. Look at that. It's technically better than opening an actual champion, but it's a little, not as flashy. And so let's find a way to complain about something good, right? But, that is going to do it for us today. So, hope you all learned how to be a little more relentless in your lives and your gameplay and such, you learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.